Hi everybody, it's Thursday, November 20th, 2008. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like the auto giants are going to go begging to Secretary Paulson for billions of dollars to keep them afloat, to handle their payrolls, to give them operating capital from your pockets, from the pockets of taxpayers. According to the auto giants, they just can't do it on their own. They need our help. And they need our help because they can't handle their own problems. And we need them because without them we wouldn't have jobs and the economy will go down. Apparently, our economy is a self-perpetuating system. We pay our own payrolls, I guess. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but if you look at history, I think you can see what or where the problems of the auto giants are really coming from. Around 1980, General Motors was the richest corporation on the planet, the richest corporation in the history of mankind. Then they decided that they just couldn't handle paying the salaries of people in Michigan anymore, even though they were the richest corporation in mankind, in the history of mankind, mind you. They just couldn't handle paying American workers. So they moved their factory to Mexico, where most people could hardly afford to buy their products, but they could pay those people in Mexico much less wages. They spearheaded the movement to export American jobs overseas, and then 20 years later the American economy was in shambles. Then okay, and you might say these two things are totally unrelated, but could it be that GM's decision to bolster their profits by moving American jobs offshore was ultimately the cause of their own collapse? Could these two things be related? Maybe not GM alone, but the fact that they started a movement that eliminated thousands of American jobs, hundreds of thousands of American jobs over the years, and eliminated that money from our economy. Okay, another thing to consider. In 1996, GM developed the most advanced automobile at the time. It was the EV1. This was an electric car that met the needs of 80 to 90% of American consumers without consuming any fossil fuels whatsoever. It was a very clean car, a very reliable car, a very advanced car, a car that people loved, that required virtually no maintenance. And 3 or 4 years later, GM took those cars off the market, recalled the cars that had been leased out, and shredded them up into tiny little chunks. They completely demolished them. They gave a few cars away to universities with the express condition that they would never be used, that they were disabled, and they told the people that took the cars that they could never fix them. And, well, the people that took the cars have, in fact, at least in one case, fixed the car and driven it, and GM is hopping mad over it. Why? I don't know. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, I would guess. Some money has changed hands somewhere, okay? So they destroyed the electric car that people wanted badly. Then they started producing monstrous SUVs like the Hummer and like all the other SUVs that they produced, which were basically pickup trucks with cabs extended towards the back, hastily thrown together with Stone Age technology. I mean, technology from 30 or 40 years ago, and pumped out in large numbers because they could fit through the loopholes in federal law. They could be less fuel efficient, they could be less safe, they could be less of just about everything because technically they were just pickup trucks. And they weren't designed for ferrying your children to soccer practice and back. They were designed for working on farms. Okay, so now, fast forward to 2008, the auto industry is suddenly in trouble. Wow, who could have guessed it? They totally ignored the wishes of their customers and gave them crap for 10 or 15 years, and now they're in trouble. And the Japanese automakers are overtaking them. Who could have guessed it? And now, what do they need? Do they need to look in the mirror? Do they need to start changing their policies? Do they need to start hiring some new executives who can look to the future and do things that are, you know, not bold, not radical, just common sense. You know, just prudent. Do what people, what I could tell them that they need to do. With almost no almost no knowledge of the automotive industry, I could tell them what their problems are and what they need to do. You know, but they can't hire people that could figure these things out. Is that what they need to do? No. They need $25 billion from you. That's what they need, apparently. And it seems like, I guess, since the money is being handed out, they want their share. And, you know, it looks like we're moving toward a society where, you know, the corporations are getting welfare and the people who need welfare are starving to death. And the corporations can't solve their own problems anymore. Now they're welfare queens. Now they're just sitting around having babies, collecting their welfare checks. How long is this going to last? How long can taxpayers support them when they no longer have jobs? Because the corporations have moved their jobs overseas, or because the corporations are going out of business, because the economy is destroyed. You know, this kind of thing, it's just utterly moronic. It can't continue, but you know, it's the path of least resistance just to say, it's not my fault, I don't know what happened, give me some money and everything will be okay. And that's the culture that we're moving toward in this country. Unfortunately, you know, when I was a kid, Chrysler almost went out of business, and what did they do? Did they go running to the government? I think that they might have gotten some kind of help from the government, but they didn't get $25 billion. They didn't get a bailout. They might have gotten some kind of, you know, some kind of help, but it wasn't money. And what they did was they hired Lee Iacoca, and Lee Iacoca came in and he realized that the whole place was a zoo. It was being run like, you know, like some kind of disorderly mess, and he cleaned it up and he fixed that company, and he had a vision for the future. He came out with new products, with good products, better products than what they had at least. And he fixed that company. He turned it around. And those days, unfortunately, are over. Now we have people just running to the government, not looking in the mirror, and they're not going to fix anything. Thanks for watching.